You are enough, turning pain into purpose. Have you ever felt like you're running on empty? Like you've been carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders for so long that you've forgotten what it feels like to stand tall without that burden? I recently had the privilege of interviewing Vivian Boyles, a truly extraordinary woman whose wisdom has ignited transformation in countless lives. Her work in helping others recognize their inherent worth has created not just ripples, but waves of change, particularly among Black professionals, navigating space that weren't designed with them in mind. Vivian doesn't just talk about healing, she embodies it. Her approach combines fierce intellect with profound compassion, creating safe harbors where people drowning in their own expectations. The insights I'm sharing today are largely inspired by her revolutionary framework for self acceptance and purpose driven living. The truth is, we're living in a world that constantly bombards us with the message that we need to be more, do more, achieve more to be worthy. But what if I told you that the most revolutionary act you could perform is to simply accept that you are enough exactly as you are right now? Let that sink in for a moment. You are enough. Not when you get the promotion, not when you lose the weight, not when you find the partner, not when you heal from all your trauma. Right now, with all your beautiful imperfections and unfinished stories. I can almost hear what some of you are thinking. That's easy for you to say. You don't know what I've been through. And you're absolutely right. Is don't. But Vivian Boyles does. And through her transformative work, she's demonstrated time and again that our worthiness isn't something we earn through perfect performance or flawless execution. It's our birthright. Consider the remarkable story of Vivian Ming, a neuroscientist whose journey Vivian often references in her teachings. Vivian didn't have a straight path to success. Far from it. She dropped out of university, battled severe depression, and experienced homelessness for an entire decade. Let that sink in. A decade of her life was spent away from academia, struggling just to survive. But here's where it gets fascinating. Vivian's journey wasn't about pulling herself up by her bootstraps, as our culture loves to glorify. It was about something far more profound, a transformative journey towards self acceptance. Recognizing her inherent worth even when external circumstances suggested otherwise. And what happened next defies conventional wisdom. She returned to her studies with renewed focus, completed her degree with the honors at UC San Diego, and went on to earn advanced degrees at Carnegie Mellon University. Today, she's recognized as an influential leader in AI research and was named one of BBC's 100 Women in 2017. Now, I can hear the skeptics among you. That's just one exceptional case. But that's precisely the point. We're all exceptional cases waiting to recognize our own worth. The first lesson Vivian Boyles emphasized is this: your self worth is not defined by your past. The journey to self worth starts with accepting that who you are right now, flaws, scars, and all, is enough to build the life you desire. This isn't some fluffy, feel good statement. It's a radical position in a world that profits from your self doubt. Think about it. The self improvement industry is worth billions, not because we're all committed to growth, but because we've been convinced we're broken. How much money have you spent trying to fix yourself? How many hours have you lost worrying that you're not good enough? How many opportunities have you missed because you didn't feel worthy of them? I'm not suggesting we shouldn't strive for growth, but there's a profound difference between growing from a place of self acceptance versus growing from a place of self rejection. The former leads to authentic transformation. The latter keeps us trapped in cycles of shame and inadequacy, which brings me to the second insight from my conversation with Vivian. Pain is your past, purpose lives in your future. We all carry pain. Some of us have endured traumas that no human should ever have to face. Others deal with the quiet, persistent ache of disappointment or regret. But pain, as real and valid as it is, doesn't have to be your permanent address. Vivian Two's story illustrates this principle beautifully. Raised by first generation immigrants without generational wealth or financial guidance, Vivian could have remained trapped in financial insecurity. Instead, she created Net Worth and Chill, a podcast that demystifies personal finance for young adults navigating systemic barriers. What's compelling about her story isn't just her success, but her motivation. During the COVID 19 lockdowns, she watched friends lose income and struggle financially. Rather than simply feeling bad for them, she recognized that her expertise could help others avoid similar pitfalls. She stepped forward as everyone's rich BFF, transforming her own past challenges into purpose. Today, thousands have learned practical money management skills through her platform, from debt reduction strategies to identifying scams that increase confidence in their own abilities. She's built a trusted brand that empowers listeners nationwide and regularly features diverse voices sharing real world advice relevant across backgrounds. This is what happens when we refuse to let our pain define us. We transform it into purpose. We alchemize our wounds into wisdom that serves not just ourselves, but others. But how do we make that transition? How do we move from surviving our past to thriving in our purpose? This leads to the third key insight from Vivian Boyles. Invest in yourself, reshape, refocus, and move forward. When I say invest in yourself, I'm not talking about spending thousands on self help seminars or luxury retreats, though, if you can afford those, by all means enjoy. I'm talking about the deliberate choice to prioritize your growth, healing, and well being. Sometimes that looks like formal education, sometimes it's therapy, sometimes it's simply giving yourself permission to rest and dream bigger. Vivian Villanueva's journey exemplifies this principle perfectly. As a mental health counselor balancing demanding roles while dealing with her own emotional wounds, she could have continued on the same path, helping others while neglecting herself. Instead, she invested deeply in her spiritual growth while leveraging her professional expertise. The result? She transitioned into what she calls kingdom entrepreneurship, launching initiatives centered around authentic healing experiences. She created programs that blend business acumen with holistic wellness principles, empowering others facing similar battles. What's most striking about Villanueva's story is that she credits her breakthrough moments not to external achievements, but to internal acceptance, the recognition that she was already enough before any title or accolade. This is the beautiful paradox at the heart of self investment. When you truly believe you're worthy of investment, the returns are exponential. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but my reality is complicated. I have bills to pay, people depending on me, and real obstacles in my way. And you're absolutely right. The journey to embracing your worth isn't always straightforward, especially for Black women who've been conditioned to be strong for everyone else, to carry communities on their backs, to push through pain without complaint. As Vivian Boyles often reminds her clients, the superwoman cape looks good, but it's heavy, and it was never designed for everyday wear. In what some are calling the soft girl era, a concept that's not just about aesthetics, but about a spiritual, emotional, and mental recalibration. We're learning that softness isn't weakness, it's a radical act of self love. It's permission to rest without explanation, to set boundaries without apology, and to prioritize peace without guilt. This isn't about abandoning responsibility. It's about recognizing that you can't pour from an empty cup. It's about understanding that your worth isn't tied to your productivity or your ability to endure hardship. The affirmation that Vivian Boyles encourages her clients to repeat daily speaks directly to this truth. I am worthy of rest. I am worthy of peace. I am worthy of joy, not because of what I do, but because of who I am. Scripture reminds us in Psalm 139:14, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. This isn't conditional on achievement or perfection, it's a statement of inherent worth. So, where do we go from here? How do we translate these insights into tangible change? I challenge you today to identify one area where you've doubted your worth and take a bold step this week toward investing in yourself there. Whether that's enrolling in a class you've put off, reaching out for support when needed, or simply affirming daily that you are enough, let this be the moment you shift from surviving your past into living fully present with eyes fixed on purpose ahead. Remember Vivian Ming, who returned to academia after a decade away and became a renowned neuroscientist. Remember Vivian, too, who transformed her financial knowledge into a platform that empowers thousands. Remember Vivian Villanueva, who found that her greatest impact came not from pushing harder, but from embracing her wholeness. And remember what Vivian Boyles teaches: your worth isn't earned, it's inherent. Your pain isn't your destination, it's part of your journey. Your investment in yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. We stand at a crossroads today. We can continue believing the lie that our value is tied to our performance, our appearance, our achievements, or we can embrace the revolutionary truth that we are enough right now as we are. The world doesn't need more people running on empty, sacrificing their well being on the altar of productivity. The world needs people who have made peace with their past, who understand their worth, and who are ready to transform their pain into purpose. So I leave you with this question: what would change in your life if you truly believed you were enough? What mountains would you climb? What dreams would you pursue? What boundaries would you set? What joy would you allow yourself to feel? Your answer to that question isn't just about your personal happiness, it's about your impact on the world. Because when you recognize your inherent worth, you become a living invitation for others to do the same. And that, my friends, is how we change the world, one I am enough at a time. Thank you